After 2 decades of coaching, you decided to pursue a new kind of challenge and sent in an application for Survivor. What inspired that?
Yeah. I don't know, honestly. I was watching Survivor Samoa, and I've watched Survivor. I've always watched Survivor, and I just got this crazy idea. I had never, ever thought of even applying, and I really think it was because all of our kids were off to college, and I just thought, "I wanna try this and see if I even get a call back." So I just made one video. That was it. I didn't have a script. I stood in front of the camera. Charlie held the camcorder and I just talked. And I really think it was something that I kind of just did at the last minute, thinking, oh, they're never going to call me anyway. And so I thought, just send it in and just see what happens. So I would probably have to say just the inspiration of are they gonna really call me back? One of those types of things. So it was nothing that I was going through or I really wanted to do. I just thought, I'm just gonna throw a video together and see what happens. That's honestly why I decided to do it.
Now, and so how surprised were you when you actually got the call back saying they were interested?
I was shocked. In fact, the first time they called, this number came up that I didn't recognize. And then they left a voicemail, and it was a casting director from LA, and his name was Ken. I'll never forget that. And he said, "This is a casting director for Survivor. We'd like to talk to you about being on the show." And I actually started laughing, and I deleted the voicemail because I thought it was a joke. I thought, "Oh, somebody's playing a joke on me. This absolutely cannot be right." So I was and then they called back a couple days later and I thought, "Gosh, maybe this is real." And sure enough, it was, and I was shocked. I was very shocked.
Now, when you finally realized that it was real, it wasn't a scam, what did you start doing to prepare?
I actually didn't make the show before I started preparing. I actually as soon as I got my first call, I started running, I started swimming, I started lifting weights. I started reading books on mental awareness and how to read people, just for like the mental aspect of the game. And I hadn't even made the show, but I thought, you know what, this is such a short window of time. I need to start preparing just in case I get on this show. So I hired a personal trainer and I couldn't tell him because you can't really tell anybody that if you make it. So I just told him I was training for a triathlon. And so but yeah, I did a lot of things like that. Physically and mentally I started preparing and I didn't even like I said know I was even on the show yet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now the process of them getting you to Nicaragua, how does that work? Do they just kinda drop you on the island and say, "Here you go," or
No, I had to fly to LA. I actually had to fly to they actually flew me to LA and I had to go through a casting call. And I kind of expected that I made it because like we would go down for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we couldn't talk to anybody. We had to sit by ourselves and so forth. And they would eliminate people. So I would, of course, kind of look around and I would notice, oh, that one lady, that blonde, or that, she's gone, or the gentleman's gone. And I just kept coming. I just kept going down. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't been eliminated yet. So that's kind of when I thought, my goodness, I could have made this. So my very last interview before I left LA, I had to interview in front of the president of CBS and the executive directors of CBS. And then I had to go in front of a camera and I had to do an interview in front of a camera and so forth. So, and I went back home not knowing if I made it. And then about a week later, I got a call that I had made it. And I was absolutely shocked. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, one video, I didn't have a script. I sent it in and I was shocked that I made it.